this week I realized that there's a lot of things that have changed in this dispensation in time. It's late at night, I'm tired, I'm driving in from work. It's been about a 17-hour day and I'm extremely tired, I'm dirty. It's just been a hard working day. And I noticed that the new norm today is not normal. There's so many things that I've seen in the last 3 weeks, and they're just not normal things. I don't even know where to begin. But I was thinking back when I was in my teens. We used to just have such a blast, running the streets, hanging out with friends, etc., etc., etc. But I always remember that there was people that would come up to you and they would give you warnings. They would say things like, "Hey man, that motor's 450 horsepower. You better be careful when you drive that because you can or will kill yourself. Hey, that motorcycle is super quick. That Hurricane, that Ninja, if you go too fast in that, you will die. You'll get in a wreck and die." And there was just people who were normal. And they warned you. They said, "Hey man, if you put that transmission in and you don't put that last bolt in and torque it the right way, you're going to drive your car and blow up your motor, blow up your transmission." They gave you warnings, and they weren't afraid to voice them. If you were working on your house, you were doing something for your parents, and it didn't kind of line up with the normal way of doing things, they warned you. People spoke out. Now, if you speak out, you're being judgmental, or people will be rude, or they might even want to fight you, or they might get mad at you, or say something so ugly it kind of ruins your mood. And a lot of people, including myself, sometimes you just take the safe route and you don't say anything. Like tonight, I stopped at Buc-ee's, large gas station, 70 gas pumps, or however many, 100 gas pumps, I don't know. It's like a Walmart superstore for gas stations. And I'm waiting in line, and a guy comes in, and he's got his pants sagging, but he's sagging in the front and the back, and his underwear is dirty. And the look wasn't becoming. It was actually everybody in line. We were all looking like, what did we just see? And I don't know if the guy felt like he was being sexy or whatever, but he was sagging so long, showing everything front and back, with some like dirty silk underwear, and we all couldn't stop but to notice that. And I almost said something. I wanted to say, "Hey bro, pull your pants up, man. It's not becoming. You're showing your penis, you're showing your behind, and then to top it off, your underwear is dirty." But then I said, well, if I say that, you might say, "Well, what are you doing? Who are you?" and this and that, and we'll be ready to box and fight. And he's mad because I was just letting him know that, it wasn't a good look. I don't think it was a good look. Maybe it is a good look to somebody else, but to me, it just looked kind of raunchy and dirty And I don't think he was aware that he had stains on his underwear. And all of us were looking in awe. That wasn't normal. This week, my bank double charged me. No, they made an error twice and then charged me for it. And then when I called, they were like, oh no, you shouldn't have to pay for this. And then they still charged me again. That wasn't normal. And the list just goes on and on and on and on. I mean, I don't even know where to begin, but I feel like the new norm today is not normal. And part of the reason is because nobody wants to give any correction. Nobody wants to take a stand and be righteous or just. Or maybe people are just afraid. And you have all these people being just going here and there without the proper guidance or warning lights. When your warning light comes on in your vehicle, it's helpful. It says, hey, the coolant's low. Light goes on, ding, it's coolant light. Well, you have no coolant, you blow up the motor. You're running your motor, light goes on, and you have no oil. It says you have no oil. You have no oil, you blow up your motor. These indicators or warning lights help prevent us from tragic mistakes or bad mistakes or things that will hurt us. And I just feel like the normal today is so off balance and off key. I look and wait and anticipate for our leaders to get on TV and not just say what they're going to do to improve the country, but talk about how we can improve our morality, how we can improve our racism and discriminatory practices that are being used, and discriminatory practices that are being used in business and jobs and banking and loans, etc., how these moral issues, these ethical issues really hurt the country, our country's progression, because we are living in an era where knowledge is key, education is key, insight is key, ingenuity is key, creative advancements is key. And if we're still fighting over things that should have already been dealt with years ago, like having books in schools, making sure that minority schools get the same treatment as some of the other schools, and that the money goes into the programs for minorities just like it does in some of the good neighborhoods, just things that ethically should have been handled a long time ago. It's really hurting us because now we're in an era where we're battling against time. And as a country, Americans, we're racing against time. And the more we procrastinate, the more we slack off, the dumber and the lazier and the less educated we become, the more we become diminished as a country. And I wonder if people even see these things. I wonder if they even see the ultimate impact that it's having on us as a country. And this is just normal thinking. This is nothing. This is not physics or trigonometry. This is just basic math, fundamental thinking. To me it is. I mean, it's like, I'm not going to really harp on this, but tonight I had a man, when I was getting out, I've worked the entire day, I'm getting gas, guy comes up and says, well, brother, can you help me out? Me and my family, we're in the car, whatever. And I like the opportunities to be a blessing, but for some reason I was not compelled to help him. I don't know why. When I looked at him, he just looked like a man that has made this his priority, is just to go around asking for money and not do anything. I got that gut feeling that he's just a very lazy man. So I could be wrong, I doubt it, but I did not feel compelled to help him. So I politely said, sir, I gotta go, and I went into the store, and he got mad at me, and he got irritated that I wouldn't help him out in his situation. And I thought to myself, this is not normal. It's not. You're asking me for help, and you're getting mad at me because I'm not helping you. It's not my obligation to help you. It's a nice gesture, and in most of the cases, it's the right thing to do to help you. But you're getting mad at me, and that's not normal. And I'm quick to try to give what I can to help people, but for some reason, I just did not feel compelled to help him. And the moral of the story is our behaviors, our practices, the way things are being done, it's just not normal. Interactions with friends and family. Sometimes I get calls from different friends, and sometimes they'll call just to ask 100 questions and find out where I'm at socially and economically and financially or whatever. And it's like, that's not normal. You should call to see how I'm doing. Not to grade or compare. Or a lot of times I'll get calls just for people to remind me of my faults and failures. And that's not normal. If you're that concerned with the things I do wrong, maybe you should pray for me. But that would be being normal. If you don't like the way I do things or where I'm at, then maybe you should pray for me to advance, for things to get even better. But see, that would be being normal. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about these things. I can't really even tap on what I really wanted to talk about, because it's just so many things that just have stood out in the last 3 weeks. And I'm driving and there's a sofa on the freeway. That's not normal. We should have cleanup crews to move things every day off the freeway. Not once a year, not twice a year, but every day. So I guess rather than harp on the bad part about this, is maybe this would be an encouragement for someone to reach out and try to do some things that are normal in what appears to be a very abnormal society, or a growingly abnormal society with abnormal thinking that's now becoming the norm. So there has to be some type of resistance against abnormal thought, or at least it being accepted as norm.